This is going to be a video about how I constructed this, the Yottaminx. Currently I'm restickering the Yottaminx, so that's why it looks, the stickers look bad, but you can see on this face, it's already been restickered, the red face, so it's looking pretty nice. I don't have footage of how I designed this, so I'm not really going to talk that much about the mechanism. It uses a floating anchor mechanism. I have a link in the description where Oskar van Deventer explains the basics of floating anchor. But basically all the pieces, all of the center pieces, these little ones here, most of them look like this, and it basically keeps them from rotating. So yeah, and it's pretty stable and it's space efficient. So that's why I chose the mechanism. So I don't have any footage. This is all after I got the whole thing printed, the process of building. So I hope you enjoy. So after I printed it, the parts arrived in this gigantic Shapeways box. You can see here I'm holding the core. Oh wow, look, my hands are black from dyeing other puzzles. Yeah, those are all the parts in there, and that's the core. The core is about the size of, I would say, a cantaloupe, and that's it next to my my mini 7x7. So these are all the parts just laid out. Those are all the individual parts in their different bags. I opened up a bag of centers and I laid them out on the floor. As you can see, these all look very, very similar, so it was hard to distinguish them, but I did have a system for doing this, which I'll explain later. So this is the core sitting next to a standard 57mm sized cube. The core is very big, which makes it cheap to print because most of it's hollow space on the inside, and it also makes everything very stable because all the pieces can kind of just float around the ball. So the first biggest thing I did was dye all of the pieces. I wanted it black because it looks much cleaner, and I prefer my puzzles that way anyway. So I used Rit dye, I boiled it with vinegar, and I poured the pieces in, and I boiled them for a certain amount of times. I couldn't obviously fit them all into one gigantic pot, so I did multiple batches, and this took me, I think, about 4 days, but it was 4 constant days of dyeing stuff. The entire mechanism of the Yottaminx is based around a Megaminx on the inside. So you can see here, this is just kind of like a half-assembled shot of the Megaminx part. So the edges and the corners all attach, and this can turn independently. And all of the other smaller pieces attach somewhere to there or to other smaller pieces. But yeah, so I assembled this just to see if it would work. And I made sure to like lube it with Lubix on the inside, and then I could tension it this way. This is a video of when I finished assembling the inner Megaminx core. I was very excited when I had this, you can't really tell, because it just looked cool and it was almost cool to have within itself, even though it was going to be Yottaminx. But yeah, you can see me turning it. It turns very smoothly, but it doesn't cut corners very well. After I assembled the inner Megaminx, I had to go about sorting the little centers. So when I designed the puzzle, I designed little shapes on the feet of the centers, because all the centers look the same, so I had to distinguish them. Actually, when I designed it, if you notice, every piece has a mirror, or like a piece that's the complete opposite of it. And it's the same piece, just like backwards. So rather than making new shapes for these, I just printed them separately, so they came in different bags when I took them out. This is a time-lapse of me sorting some pieces. But yeah, so they came in different bags, and then I could sort them that way. Oskar, when he made his 17x17, he used numbers to denote certain pieces, but I used shapes because I thought it'd be easier to distinguish them, and they did work very well in the end. After I finished sorting all of the centers, I went about assembling the Yottaminx. So I did it by assembling the frames first, so you can see I put the center edges in, which are the trapezoidal pieces, and then I put the wings in, which are the ones with the parallelogram faces. So that gave me these holes, and then I just put the centers in. So I took all of my cups, as you can see in this video, and I lined them up sequentially. There was like 40-some cups. I don't remember how many. But yeah, so I just go one by one, and I set it up so everything just like went to the right place once I put it in. This part was pretty tricky, and it took me probably about a month to get the whole thing. I had some help from my friends. I tried lapsing the assembly by taping my camera to the ceiling, but it kept falling off, so I only have about 6 seconds. Then I went about stickering the Yottaminx. This was a god-awful process where I had to glue on each sticker individually, which apparently you're not actually supposed to do in case you ever make your own twisty puzzle. What I do now, and which I'm doing to resticker it, is you actually iron the pieces onto the Yottaminx. So what I'm doing right now is I'm ripping off the edge stickers because they were too big to start out with. You can kind of tell. Putting smaller ones on, and then I'm taking like a clothes iron, putting like a sheet of silk cloth over it, and then just pressing an iron onto that, and that kind of melts the pieces onto the sticker, and that makes it stay. The super glue on the center pieces isn't really interfering with that, so the stickers are going to be good in the end. This process took me, about 2 months, I think. A little less than 2 months, mainly because I was really not motivated to do it because it's such a horrible, boring process. If anyone really likes to sticker stuff, just let me know and you can stick more puzzles for me. So that video was about the entire Yottaminx assembly process, or construction process, put into about 5 minutes. The whole thing took me about 4 months, but now I've got myself a nice Yottaminx, which is breaking in pretty well. Yeah, so if you have any questions about puzzle building in general, you can email me. I put it in the description. I love helping you if you're interested in learning how to do stuff like this. I can make videos if you guys are interested. But yeah, thanks for watching.